You must have definitely heard that brown rice is good for you. Have you faced difficulties in cooking brown rice? And you must also have read about red rice. So what is the basic difference between brown rice and red rice? And where does black rice fit into this? Yes, you're at the right place. You will have all your answers in this episode of Munch and Mull only if you stay tuned until the mull point at the end of the video. Namaskaram. I'm Sujata, an educator in biology and environmental science, a health and wellness consultant, and your host on Munch and Mull. Before we look at how to cook brown rice, it is extremely important to understand the difference between red, brown and white rice because the cooking process will slightly change depending on the rice that you use. Very simply put, red and brown rices have their bran layer intact and this layer is just below the husk. In other words, they are also called unpolished rices. You may have also heard the terms parboiled rice and raw rice. In Tamil, we call it pulungalarishi or pacharishi. Now, what is that? This is a completely different way of categorizing rices and we will reserve that for another episode. But for now, you can just remember that you can have fully unpolished, semi-polished and fully polished white rice as both parboiled or raw. Going just by looks, parboiled rices are slightly translucent. Raw rice is more popular in use than parboiled rice and I too prefer using raw rice. So in today's episode where we are going to see how to cook red rice or brown rice, it refers to raw rice. Depending on the level of the intact bran, rices could be fully unpolished, semi-polished or fully polished. Typically, fully unpolished rices are fully red or brown in color. Semi-polished red rices may have streaks of red on them and vary from burgundy to pale pink. Semi-polished brown rices vary typically beige to pale yellow color. Fully polished rices are of course white in color. In other words, any rice variety will naturally have either a red or brown color if they are fully unpolished. So, red rice or brown rice are generic names and not the names of any one variety of rice. So from a nutritional perspective, it is more appropriate to look at whether the rice is unpolished, semi-polished or fully polished. Unpolished rices are far healthier than white rice. I have discussed the health benefits of brown rice in this previous episode of mine, How to Make Brown Rice Dosa, the link of which is given above. You can watch that episode after watching this episode. For now, just remember this. In comparison to white rice, unpolished or brown and red rice are far more richer in fiber, minerals, vitamins, and they have a low glycemic index too. So it is extremely suitable for diabetics and weight loss. How does unpolished rice benefit a diabetic and counter obesity? Watch this video of mine of how to make brown rice idli, the link of which is given above for the answers. But there is more. The nutrients often vary from one unpolished rice to another. So, it is smarter to use more than one variety of traditional unpolished rices by rotation to maximize the health benefits. Did you know that even today there are around 6,000 varieties of rice existing in India today? There will be more shocking insights when you watch this episode on India's rice diversity. I use at least 5 to 6 varieties of these unpolished rices by rotation. And my go-to source for getting authentic, organic, traditional, unpolished rices is of course BioBasics. You can also try an amazing range of 50 rices from BioBasics using the link in the description box for an initial discount on the first order. Essentially, the rice bran is what is responsible for the wonderful health benefits. So higher the bran, healthier your rices. Most of you are probably transitioning into the unpolished rice space after years of consuming white polished rice. If that is so, particularly for table rice, I suggest you start using semi-polished rice first. Get used to its flavor and texture and then you can graduate to fully unpolished or full bran rice, that is red or brown rice. But if you're more adventurous like us, you can straight jump on to using the full bran rice. Cooking semi-polished brown rice is very similar to cooking white rice in a pressure cooker. What you have to do is take 1 cup of brown rice, 3 cups of water, pressure cook it for about 3 whistles and leave it on a sim flame for 5 minutes and your rice is ready. But if you like very soft rice, you could increase the quantity of water. But today we will see how to cook full bran rice in a pressure cooker, as this calls for a few additional changes. So let's begin. So here I have taken 1 glass of a full bran variety of brown rice. This particular variety is called Maplai Samba. Look at the color. So I am going to be just adding some water, rinsing it first and collecting the rinse water. Keep the rinse water aside, and now I am just adding water. And since this is a full bran variety, we are going to be soaking this for a minimum of 4 hours. So I'll just put this aside now. So here our brown rice is nicely soaked for 4 hours. So I'm going to be draining the water now. So this was the rinse water and the soaked water. This I will be using it to water my plants. So now we will be pressure cooking the rice. So with the same glass I'm adding water. So 1 cup of rice and I'm adding 3.5 cups of water. 1, 2, 3, half. And now we will pressure cook this. So switching on the gas, here goes the rice. We will pressure cook this for 5 whistles on a high flame, and then after 5 whistles, reduce the flame on a sim flame. We will keep it for 10 minutes. So now 5 whistles are over, so I am reducing the flame to sim and we'll keep this on for 10 minutes. So 10 minutes are over. So I'm going to switch off the gas. Once the pressure is completely released, we'll open the cooker. So here, let me open the cooker. Here, see, the brown rice is cooked. So let me remove this. So here my brown rice is cooked. See, so soft. For different varieties of brown rice, the quantity of water might differ. So initially you will have to do a trial and error, and sometimes you may find that in the first or second time when you're cooking, slight water stays up. So that water you just drain. You can either put salt to it and drink, or you can use that water to water your plants. So slight trial and error will be required to adjust the water quantity to the variety of brown rice that you are using. So here's the summary of the cooking process of the various types of raw rices. Just remember, this data is based on my personal preferences in cooking red rice. You may need to slightly tweak the proportion of water or the cooking time to suit your family's tastes. And here is a small pro tip. You could simply soak the unpolished rice overnight. A longer soaking is better than shorter. And here is another. If you are not sure whether a rice is a semi-polished or fully polished, just soak and then cook.
Hey Sujata, you completely forgot about black rice. I'm sure our viewers are mulling about where black rice fits into everything that you have said.
I'm sorry, I forgot to mention about the black and purple rices. Black and purple rices are very similar to the full bran red rice variety, but they have a very rich antioxidant called anthocyanin that gives them their color. You can cook black rice exactly the same way as we cook full bran red rice. But it is interesting to know that when cooked, black rice has a very sticky nature and it is excellent for making kheer. You will find the recipe of my black rice dessert recipe in the link above, and this episode also gives you a very interesting history and health benefits of black and purple rice. Let me finally leave you with these points to also mull over. Studies show that bran and the unpolished rice, whether brown or red, have multiple health benefits like being anti-diabetic, anti-cholesterol, cardioprotective and antioxidant capabilities. By contrast, white polished rice is nothing but starch or carbs, in other words, without any nutrients in them. So now it's your choice. What would you choose? Was this video eye-opening for you? And did you get clarity and confidence in using red and brown rices in your regular diet? If yes, then you ought to press that like button to make the YouTube algorithm happy. Do you have more questions about these aspects? Then you should definitely put them out in the comment section below, and I will try my best to address them. And if you care for the well-being of your family and friends, you should share this video with all of them. So here's wishing you the best in your journey into the world of unpolished rices.
Hey, have you subscribed to MUNCH&MULL? Do click on the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive notifications of my newest videos uploaded every Saturday.